Hello, and welcome to the Sci-Fi Christian. I'm Ben DeBono, and I am here with a Game of Thrones review. No, not a book review, not the show review. It's off-season for the show. I just finished Clash of Kings, so now we're close to the end of Storm of Swords, but Ommegang Brewery has just released their second Game of Thrones themed beer. This is Take the Black Stout. If you're saying, well, what was the first one? Because you weren't aware they'd done any. Back in March, they released, actually right at the beginning of Season 3, they released Iron Throne Blonde Ale. Check our video archives here on our YouTube channel. I did a review for that one when it came out. So this is Take the Black Stout. I'm not going to open this up for you today because I only got 4 bottles. They're super limited release. And so that's probably all I'm going to get, and so I want to spread them out a little bit. But I did take some brief video the other night when I did open one up to kind of give you an initial reaction. So I will drop that in here and then come back and talk to you a bit more about this beer. So cut now to me 2 nights ago trying Take the Black Stout for the first time. Alright, so I am recording this portion of the video apart from the rest of the review because I wanted to get a couple shots of me with the actual beer so you can see what it looks like and everything. But don't want to pour another one as soon as tomorrow when I'm going to record the full review, and don't want to do the full review tonight. So this is what you get for now. So anyway, this is the bottle Take the Black Stout. Very similar presentation design to Iron Throne Blonde Ale. And I'm going to go ahead, open this up now. I'm not a huge stout fan generally, so we'll see how this is. Nice pop of the cork. That's a good sound. Alright, I'm expecting this to be quite dark. At least it better be, since it is Take the Black. I'll bring that up a little. Looks like we have a nice head forming there. Alright, so you can kind of see, wow, I got way too much head in there. Not my best pour. I'll get the Sci-Fi Christian side of the mug. So, kind of an off-color head. Smells kind of like a typical stout, maybe not quite as strong as some, which is good by me because I'm not, like I said, a huge stout fan. So, I mean, a slightly more mild stout would be okay. I probably won't get much butt head, but I'll take a quick sip. Definitely taste some chocolate in there, kind of your typical darker malt flavors in there. Carbonation isn't too strong, good feel in the mouth. So yeah, good first impression. You know, for a stout, which again, not a huge fan of, but if you are, this seems like it's a good one. So I'm going to finish off the rest of this bottle, and I will have more thoughts on this in the rest of the review here. I'll hold it up there so you can kind of see the color and everything a little bit better. Alright, back to the review. Okay, welcome back, and thank you for that pass, Ben. So Take the Black Stout. Like I mentioned in the cutaway, not my favorite style of beer. I'm not a huge stout guy, mostly because the flavors I don't like in beer. I don't really care for chocolate, I don't really care for coffee, I don't really care for that burn taste, and that is a stout type. You know, those are the flavors you're going to get predominantly in a stout. So it's not my favorite, but this was pretty good. Would I say it's my favorite beer or up there at the top? No, but that's more because of my personal preferences. Preferences aside, I can look at this objectively and say this is a really good stout. If you are a fan of stouts, I think you're going to enjoy this quite a bit. The color is not quite black. It looks black once it's poured, but it is more of a really, really dark brown, and you can kind of see that more as you're pouring it. that probably didn't come through in the video so much because it's not the best quality there. But yeah, it is more of a really, really dark brown than it is thoroughly a black beer. So not quite the darkest stout. So on here they have some text that they wrote up where it says, "A stout as dark as the winters that once engulfed Westeros." Well, not quite, but you know, close enough. Okay. I'm not sure where it would fit exactly on the SRM color rating for beers, but definitely towards the darker end. So if not quite everything they're claiming it to be on the side, it's close. What I usually don't like about those flavors, and the reason why I thought this was pretty good despite not being a huge coffee, chocolate, burnt flavor type guy, is that I don't like that they have kind of an intense bitter taste. And I like bitter beers, but more in the sense of hoppy bitter. I like IPAs quite a bit. You know, an ESB is really good. So I like that kind of bitter, but the really dark bitter, I don't know how else to put it, isn't my cup of tea. But there is some of that, but it also kind of fades a little bit after the first initial drink, and it has a really good feel in your mouth at that point, really good taste. So strong initial bitter experience, but then it fades into something maybe a little bit sweeter. I'd have to drink it again. Now this was 2 days ago, so I'm forgetting some of exactly how to describe it. But a good combination of beginning taste and then slowly fading into an aftertaste. The carbonation is kind of medium. You know, it's not completely bubbling over the way some beers are. And it's not light in the way some beers are. So I felt like the carbonation was good, kind of that off color head. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, Ommegang Breweries, if you haven't ever drunk any of their beer, they are a phenomenal craft brewer based out of Cooperstown, New York, I think. Yep, Cooperstown, New York. And they've really done a great job with these two Game of Thrones beers. You know, everything from the design, you know, I don't know how well you can see it on here, but just a really well done bottle design. The bottles are a little bit expensive. I got mine for $8.50 at my local liquor store, but I've seen them for a little more expensive than that online. I'll talk about that in a second for you. So a little bit expensive, but you're getting 22 ounces. The ABV is 7%, so it's a stronger beer. I mean, not extremely strong, but you know, if you're drinking the whole thing yourself, that's probably a good ABV for a beer. The Iron Throne Blonde Ale was 6.5, so this one's a little bit stronger than their previous one. But I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I like the themed beers. I like the fact that in both the Blonde Iron Throne Ale and then this one that's named after the Night's Watch, Take the Black, they come up with a style that really seems to fit that part of Game of Thrones, which is something that could be really cheesy and kind of a stretch for most places, but they're doing a good job of it so far. So my hope is that we're going to see more of them. Great beers so far. Now, if you're watching this, you're saying, oh, where do I get this? Okay, so here's the deal. My first video, I told you all where to go and get the beer. So for the Iron Throne Blonde Ale, I told you, yeah, go out to the site, you can get the beer, and then a bunch of you went out there and it wasn't there anymore. I didn't realize just how limited of a release this was going to be. So here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm recording this Saturday, September 28th, okay? So if you're watching this not too far after then, you can probably still get this. I checked this morning and halftimebeverage.com has it. That's the only place online I found it, but you know, I'm sure there's probably some others. Halftimebeverage.com has it. They're selling it for 13 bucks a bottle with a limit of 4 per customer. So a little bit spendier than what you're probably going to get in your local liquor store. Like I said, I got mine at $8.50 a bottle, which is a better price, obviously, you know, by quite a bit. So what I would recommend is if you're living in a place that has a liquor store within reasonable driving distance, that has a good craft beer selection. Okay, you're not going to find this at, you know, your municipal liquor store that has just stacks and stacks of Bud Light in there. I mean, most municipal liquor stores, they will have a decent craft beer selection, but when it comes to, you know, the 22-ounce bottles and the bigger stuff and the rarer stuff, they're not going to have it. You got to go to a place that has a little bit more in terms of really good craft beer selection. I'm lucky, actually. I live here in the Twin Cities. I live in Ramsey, Minnesota, and there's a handful of places around town that have it, but, you know, that have really good craft beer selections, but actually one of them is just a few miles from my house, which up here in Ramsey, you know, northwest suburbs of Minneapolis, there's nothing up here, so we got lucky. We have an awesome Rome River liquor stores here in Ramsey. It's just phenomenal, out of this world good. So if you are Minnesotan, go give them your business. Otherwise, if you live in a metropolitan area, I'm sure they're somewhere, and you've probably found it if you're a beer fan. So go there first. Most places are getting it in stock this week. I know Game of Thrones put up a picture on Wednesday, Thursday, something like that, that the bottles were shipping out this week. And so it got into my liquor store on Thursday, just two days ago. And I went down immediately to get it because I didn't want to miss out. But if you don't live in a place that has that craft beer selection, or you can't find it anywhere, halftimebeverage.com still has it for now. I would order as soon as you see this video, because Iron Throne Blonde Ale ran out really, really fast and there was no more. And this one's going to do the same. So I would recommend getting some. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, if you're a beer fan, this is a must-have. And if you are a Game of Thrones beer fan, you absolutely can't pass this up. I really enjoyed it. Glad I got my hands on 4 bottles, and I hope you are able to get it as well. So that's all for now. I'm Bendy Bono, and this is the Sci-Fi Christian Beer Reviews.